So this is a Swift Charisma 550. I'm going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. In front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake, and we'll demonstrate these while you're here on site. Front locker you have your two gas bottom tie downs, and up on the bulkhead you have your gas regulator itself. Gas pipe work will go into the fitment on the side of the regulator, at the front of the regulator, and then you've got a yellow on-off valve for the gas supply should you ever need to isolate it. Down the side of the van you've got your water pump connection, so you push the pump into the side of the van, and pull it back to release, and the actual pickup pipe drops down inside the aqua roll itself. You've then got your heating and hot water gas flue on the side of the caravan, so you remove this to allow the gas system to breathe on board the van. We do advise you remove it before each use of the caravan, regardless of if you need to use the gas system or not. Locker on the side of the van, you've got your mains power lead coming to the side of the van, and then you've got your battery terminals in the locker next to it with quick release connections, and your motor mover power switch in the locker next to in the compartment where the mains powered lead comes into the van. And again, we'll demonstrate the motor mover while you're here on site. Fridge vents on the side of the caravan are very simply there to allow the hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in, and behind the top one there is also a gas flue for when the fridge is running on gas. You've then got your motor mover and wheel nuts. Like I said, we'll demonstrate the motor mover here on site, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts so you can see they've been tightened correctly prior to travelling down the road. Fresh water goes into the front of the van, and down the side of the van here you have your grey waste pipe. So essentially you put your bits of grey pipe into the side of the van, push them into place, and drop them down inside your waste master. On the back of the van you have your toilet flush tank just here, which takes 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. And in the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette, which releases by pulling up the orange handle, pulling it towards you. The neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away. Grey cap is for measuring the blue fluid that goes into the cassette, and on the back of the cassette you have an orange pressure relief button, so as you're tipping the waste away it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. Before you use the cassette you'll need to put 1 litre of water in there and a cap full of the blue fluid. On the rear of the van you've got your wind down legs on either side. They are just there for stabilising the caravan, they are not there for lifting the van. If you lifted the van with the wind down legs it could actually potentially damage the floor of the caravan. And you've also got the two other wind down legs at the front of the van on either side. Storage locker for underneath the bed at the rear of the van. Barbecue gas point coming down to the front of the van. And then your wind down leg for this side of the van, as well in the same place on the opposite side. Coming inside the van, above the door you have the main control panel, so you have your main power switch just here. You have your water pump switch, you have your leisure battery voltage, your mains power coming into the caravan will illuminate green if it has got mains power coming in. Just here you have an indicator to let you know you've got mains power into the caravan. You've got your battery select, so you can swap between your leisure vehicle, leisure battery and your vehicle battery, and then you've got your view levels on the right hand side. Very simple to use. The first thing you're going to need to do is fill the water system. So you're going to come over to every tap on board the caravan and open them all up on the hot side. As you can see I've already bled the system on this particular van, but normally when you first open the taps up, the water system will be empty. You'll then come underneath the seat on the right hand side front of the caravan, and you'll see there is a yellow valve underneath the seat. That yellow valve is the drain down valve for the water system on board the van. If you lift the valve up and point it upright towards the bottom of the seat, it will actually drain all the water out of the system on board the van. If that valve is parallel with the floor, you'll be able to fill the water system up. So the position it is now is the water fill position. Once that valve is in the parallel with the floor position, you'll then be able to start filling the water system. So you'll come above the door and turn your water pump on, so it has a green light just there. At that point then the water will start pumping through the system, and when the water system's full, as it is now, we can shut each tap off, and then you'll be able to start thinking about warming the water on board the van. So underneath the seat, in the same cupboard as where your drain down valve is, you've got a couple of switches down here. You've got your master shutdown switch on the left hand side of the control panel at the top, which needs to be on for all the electrical systems to work on board the van. You've got your reverse polarity control, which is when you're in European countries. The charger switch we advise you have on at all times. The space heater on at all times. And the one on the end here is your electric water heating. So you'll only have that on when the water system is running, or when your water system is full, as it could potentially burn out the element inside the tank if that water system is empty when you try to heat up the element. So that's your electric water heating. On the opposite side of the van, you have your control for your gas water heating. Now, to operate the gas water heating, you need to make sure the gas bottle's on in the front locker. You'll spin the outer grey dial round to the flame symbol. I know you can't quite see it in the video, but I can't get the camera close enough to the wall to show you that. The green light that's on in here indicates that the water system is trying to ignite, and because there's no gas bottle on the van at the moment, it's actually gone red to say it has failed to ignite. So the green light is essentially your pilot light if that stays on its own. On gas, you can control the water temperature between 30 and 70 degrees, and you would also need to use the gas if you want to boost the system for showering on board the van. To isolate the gas supply, you'll spin it back to the off position, and that will turn off the gas supply for the water heating. Above that, you have your control for your electric heating on board the van. So not your water heating, your actual heating. Down the side again, you've got 3 different symbols, or 3 different power sources. You've got 500, 1000 and 2000 watts down the side there. Now what you select here will depend on the caravan site you're on. So I'm going to select 500 watts because that's the maximum amount of power we can run here on site. And then once you've got your heating turned on, you can control the temperature of the heater on the dial in the centre. Obviously the higher you go with this, the hotter the heater will be. If you're not sure what power source to run it on when you arrive on site, if you ask the site office on the caravan site you're going to, they'll be able to advise you further. So that's your heating and hot water on gas and electric. So, on the controls that are on the walls, etc., or on the front of the control panel. On the heater itself, you've got your option to run gas. So to ignite the gas system on the heater, spin the dial round between 10 and 9, hold down the gas valve, then down the front of the heater. When it has ignited, you'll have a pilot light just through this little hole. Once it has ignited, you'll continue to hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds to allow the thermocouple to warm up. Then you'll slowly release the gas valve and control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top. On the right hand side, to turn the gas supply off, you spin it back to the 0 and that will turn the gas off. On the right hand side, you've got the dial here for controlling your blown air heating if you want to use blown air. The dot here at the bottom indicates the heat is going to come out the front of the heater. Continuous blown air, which will come out the vents around the caravan that you see just down the bottom there, is on the left hand side here. So you'll flick this switch over and that will turn on the blown air, and if you haven't got the heating turned on, that will also work as a cold blowing fan. The A on the right hand side is automatic blown air, so essentially it cuts in and out with the thermostat on board the caravan. So that's your heating and hot water systems and how to fill the water system. Fridge next, very simple to use. On the front of the fridge you've got your power button to turn it on and off, just here. The blue light indicates when it is working, and at the moment you can see we're connected on mains power and the fridge is at its coldest setting. To control the fridge temperature, use the button on the right hand side. To change the power source you want to use, you use the button on the left hand side. So you've got your option to run gas here, and again if the gas was turned on, that would self-ignite on gas, and the blue light here at the bottom here will be a pilot light if it is solid. If it is flashing, it means it has failed to ignite on gas. 240 mains, very simple. Again, go to 240 when you connect to 240 power on site. And if you're towing down the road and you want to use the fridge as a cool box, you can select the 12 volt mode, which is essentially the 12 volt power source from the car you're towing with, not the 12 volt battery on board the caravan. The temperature control on the right hand side is redundant on the 12 volt mode. It is only on the gas and mains that you control the temperature on the button on the right hand side. The hob has got an electric ring in there. That will only work when you've got 240 mains coming into the caravan, and the same with the microwave above. However, the rest of the oven, grill and hob will work on gas. Going to the rear of the caravan, the last thing we're going to go through is the toilet system. So you've got an electric flush on the toilet. You have a toilet full indicator light to let you know when the toilet waste cassette is full, so that will illuminate red when it is full. The toilet seat itself needs to be pointing straight across the caravan when you're emptying the waste cassette front of the van, as it does turn for your convenience. And below the toilet you have your grey waste handle, which allows the toilet waste into the cassette underneath the van. So you do need to have that open before you use the loo, and I would advise shutting it off once you are finished using the loo. Again, like I said, that grey flap will need to be in the closed position when you remove the cassette from underneath the van, as it locks it in place if it is open. So that is the Swift Charisma 550. If you have any further questions on the van, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.